Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, Red-Rupee here, calling the shots for you tonight as always, and we are playing some Dawn of War 2 Elite mod today, and we are on Ashes of Typhon, but it's the 2v2 map, and what this is actually is a match from the most recent monthly team tournament, hosted by Impregnable, so big props for him setting that up as he always does. He's been keeping that going pretty much on a monthly basis. It's usually the second or last Saturday of any given month, so keep an eye open for those casts either from me or other community streamers, and you can get all the info for that over at dawnofwar.info, of course. But anyways, let's take a look at our players. This is actually one of the better matches from that tournament, so I figured we'd cover it since we didn't get to cover it on the stream, as I did stream a lot of coverage for this. We've got Doggylover as the Tech Marine, along with Matouzka as the Space Marine Force Commander for the red side, and these two fellows, Freeman needs to lose and Zavargel needs to lose, actually go by the name of Dog and Boogeyman, I believe, as these first engagements get started. So I'm not going to call them that because it's going to confuse me looking at their names on screen, so we're just going to call them, you know, Freeman and Zavargel needs to lose. But oddly enough, they did manage to get teamed up against those two players, both Freeman and Zev, in the finals. I won't say how it goes, you can go check that out yourself, of course, but turned out to be some pretty good matches. Anyways, let's take a look at what's going on here. This Sentinel already putting the hurt on the Tech Marine, of course, this being an Imperial Guard Space Marine matchup. Actually pretty tricky for the Space Marines, considering there's no green cover for them to hide behind. It's a very straightforward map, not a lot of opportunity to split up the Imperial Guard or flank. Especially on this side of the map, it just tends to be a lot of just battling for this victory point, battling for the power. So in a brute force ranged fight, the Imperial Guard tend to come ahead in that particular matchup. Over here we have Space Marine and Eldar, which seems to be also on a more spread out side of the map, probably a lot more tricky for the Eldar than the Imperial Guard to get the upper hand on this Space Marine fighter. You can see the Lord General already upgraded with his medical fella. I forget who that is. That's the medic on his retinue. I don't remember what exactly the designation for that particular fellow is, but we can see already grenades down on the scouts, and gotta be careful with this Sentinel. It's already getting quite perilously low here. Hearing Banshee scream in the distance as the Space Marines force and try to corner the Sentinel. The Tech Marines on the back line here. Scouts are moving in looking for a grenade toss. Repairs are going down, but the Techie wasn't shooting at the Sentinel. He was shooting at the squads. I think they may have actually been able to burn that thing down, but unfortunately, as of now, it looks like it's going to live by the skin of its teeth. Tech Marine is engaged in melee combat with the Lord General hawking him down, and now the Tactical Marine Squad is on full retreat. The Sentinel remains standing. Zev with the Guardian Weapons team. Did he lose a squad of Dire Avengers down south already? Because he doesn't have a third squad on the field. Already we see some generators coming down for the red team. Not quite the same, or actually, yeah, with that fourth generator coming down, it's actually even up for the Blues. Matouzka bringing some assault squads out, along with Freeman needs to lose, getting those Catachan Devils onto the field. Gonna have some knockback abilities, gonna have some probably improvised explosive devices. Catachan's such a great utility squad, and solid DPS for the Imperial Guard. A little hard to get them in against the Tech Marine. The Tech Marine does provide enough range firepower to really kind of at least stem the tide of the Catachans just charging in against weaker units like scouts and that sort of thing. But already we have the Shuriken set up in a forward position. The assault squad is in position ready to jump on it, but with both the Guardian and the Farseer and the Howling Banshees back here, it's not something the Force Commander wants to just jump in on willy-nilly. We can see the Farseer is already getting some upgrades as well. Already with the Spirit Stones getting some heals out there, and then the Doombringer, which will make it a lot more dangerous for those Assault Marines to simply jump in there. They can get doomed, they can get burned down by those Banshees in the blink of an eye. So the Force Commander looks like just seeding his side of the map, doubling up over here on the Imperial Guard, maybe trying to get a Gen Bash. 439 to 352 with that triple cap for the Blues. The red team decided to move into action with a double up on this northern side of the map. At least going to get this contested point over here. Got to decap in the center. Tactical Marines taking a lot of fire. Does manage to hit that retreat button just in the nick of time with those Banshees screaming in here. When your attacks are that low, if those Banshees get into melee before you hit the retreat button, you can probably say goodbye to that squad. So back home, the Sentinel's getting fixed up while the Imperial Guard heal. Not really a lot out here to Gen Bash, though, so it looks like, as it stands right now, we're only probably going to see maybe a Gen or two go down. But either way, at least the red team did get a victory point. Unfortunately, the Eldar still managed to hold pretty much the entire bottom half of the map here. Assault Squad looking for a way in here, but not quite finding it. Force Commander upgraded with a Power Sword and Artificer armor, so that's kind of surprising. You normally only see the Power Sword against other Power Armor heavy infantry armies, but it does provide that additional bonus to the battlecraft. Catachan Devils trying to hack away at some Space Marines, not quite landing it though. Grenade goes down, the Catachans retreat right on top of it! Almost losing the entire squad. A beautiful play there. Kind of trapping the Catachans between the fire, the Devastator, and the grenade. That grenade was wonderfully placed. That's something you kind of see advanced players do. Once you throw a grenade or two, you kind of get a feel for the reaction time of your opponent. So you can decide whether or not you want to just throw that grenade directly on that squad or maybe put it right behind them or in their retreat path. Oh man, this is a tricky spot for these tactical marines. The knockdown comes in, but thankfully the assault marines come in out of nowhere, saving those tacks, at least one of those tacks. I don't know if the whole squad would have gone down, but now, oh my gosh, look at this. The assaults go down almost in the blink of an eye. 2 models go down. Scouts looking pretty beat up as well, and the Space Marines, I feel like, are just getting bled pretty horribly. Farseer, oh wow, taking a face full of point-blank Devastator fire before the Devastator is subsequently knocked back by an old reliable grenade blast here. Imperial Guard moving in, and the Devastator not quite getting the full volley on those Catachan Devils. Would have probably snagged themselves a few models, and not cheap models at that for the Catachans. Catachan's about the only thing you can really effectively bleed from Imperial Guard early on. Look at that grenade! Completely wiped and perfectly placed on that Guardian Weapons team. The Shuriken goes down. Zev not happy about that, but already in Tier 2, along with everyone else, and bringing out a Wraith Lord. We can see Freeman needs to lose already with a Manticore on the field, and considering the fact that Doggylover has 2 Devastators and now purchasing a Plasma Cannon Devastator as well, that Manticore is pretty much going to rule the field. I don't think the Tech Marine has a mobile enough army to deal with this. I've actually more recently been going for a Devastator and an Assault Space Marine instead of double Devastators against Imperial Guard myself, because kind of this very reason. Once the Imperial Guard find a way to break apart your setup teams, you have no way to deal with any of this. I think Assault Marines give you a more varied option here. Oh no, the Space Marines, the attacks go down! It looks like there was a bit of a Gen Bash down south here, but it didn't quite work out because it came at the cost of the attacks. The node went down, maybe a generator, but it doesn't quite make up for all that. The Force Commander with that Power Sword allowing these Assault Space Marines to do a pretty good damage, tearing through those Banshees actually. Now knocking down the Farseer as well. Pretty heavy damage coming in. Doom goes down, but with the Wraith Lord coming in, I don't think the Force Commander has any option to stick around for this. Here comes a knockback. He's retreating. 2 swings might actually finish him off. It looks like, no, he's actually pretty beefy. That Artificer's armor gives him some extra health, keeping him alive. If not for that, I think he would have gone down there. 280 to 272 with a triple cap for the red team. Doggylover and Matouzka holding strong. We got some Eldar webways going up here. There is one back home, and now one down south of this contested victory point here, way out on the end. This is the point that tends to, I feel like, most commonly get forgotten once we get into the later stages of the game, because all the fighting tends to happen right around this crater and up on this easternmost victory point. I really feel like the Tech Marine's going to need something else to get out here. I don't know if he's just going to want a Librarian so he can keep these squads mobile. With that many Devastators, it feels like a Librarian wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. But again, he doesn't have all his Devastators out here to actually set anything up well enough. And now the Plasma Devastator in a lot of trouble, trying to get one last shot off, but decides against it. Manticore Strike coming in, but the second squad does have to fall back. The Devastator's not shooting! Oh, there we go. It almost didn't get that volley off on the Sentinel. It was just firing at the infantry, but manages to eliminate the Sentinel. It could be at the cost of its own life, though. Let's see. Will that last Melta shot? Yeah, the Melta finishes off the squad. Might even get the Tech Marine here. The Catachin's doing big work. But it looks like 8 HP and 5. Yep, just barely escaping with his life. Tactical Marines were looking for a nice little sneaky kill on that Manticore. Didn't quite work out for him, though, and a Dreadnought now out here to answer for that Wraith Lord that Zavargel needs to lose, has on the field. Some gen bashing going down here with the Banshees and the Farseer. And the Wraith Lord looks like it doesn't know what's coming. I don't know where this Dreadnought's heading, but... Oh, have they not seen that the Wraith Lord is over here? I don't know if they saw that or not. There we go. Okay, they definitely saw it now if they hadn't before. The Dreadnought is in a perfect position between the melee forces and these Space Marines. The Melta Bomb needs to go down here. The Emperor's Fist goes down, knocks the Banshees all over the place, and there's the battle cry from the Force Commander, buffing all of these Space Marines, but everything's kind of moving away, unfortunately. Banshee Screams goes down, but I don't think it's going to be enough. These Assault Space Marines are buffed and tearing through the Banshees. The Spirit Stone Heal goes in, but it's not going to do it. Unfortunately, that Exarch looks like it is going to escape. The Assault Marines don't have another jump. They do kill that Wraith Lord, though, eliminating the Eldar Walker. And the Eldar army is actually looking pretty sparse right now. Just Howling Banshees, Dark Reapers, and the Dire Avengers. Actually looking pretty rough for the blue team in general. They don't really have a lot of holding power. Oh, I can't believe that Farseer got out of there with a single hit point. The Dark Reaper squad was the exact wrong thing for Zeb needs to lose to get purchase right here, because now there's just nothing to counter this Dreadnought. Tactical Marines again trying to hunt for this Manticore, but not going to be able to do too much. A nice smite coming in from the Librarian there does get quickly negated by some med packs from the Lord General. But it's good to just kind of keep those off the field whenever you can in general. Oh man, Banshee's looking for another tactical squad kill. The first Gen Bash cost him a squad. It looks like no, he's paying attention. This time he's not going to lose the squad. 140 to 266 though, and the blue team really needs to get out here. Freeman needs to lose, bringing that tank out onto the field. And as I was mentioning, the kind of Imperial Guard Space Marine battle in these team games kind of allows the Imperial Guard to be a little bit more greedy, allowing them to get into Tier 3 right away, not really investing a lot in Tier 2. You can see he got that Manticore, and maybe he got some Commissars, but that was about it for his Tier 2 purchases. Lord General still sitting vanilla beyond that retinue upgrade. Tech Marine is going to go down here, but the Las Cannon's taking some shots at the Lemon Russ. The Dread is nowhere over here to support, but now with this tank out here, between the tank and the Manticore, all these setup teams really aren't going to have much effect, I don't think. The Librarian is out on the field, and now we can see the Force Commanders purchasing one as well. Dark Reapers, along with the Lehman Russ tank, ripping through those Tactical Marines, not even allowing them to get out of the field. Nice grenade going down there. The heal, right after the heal, actually. So, pretty well timed, all things considered. Eldar getting routed on the south side of the map now. Force Commander moving into the center crater here. You can see that Mind War, sorry, not Mind War, which one is that? That is the Rune Armor, Psychic Storm. It had some sort of psychic implication there. Oh no, this Dreadnought's way out of position. Taking lots of fire. Is it going to survive? It's got maybe one hit left from that Bright Lance. The Force Commander sacrifices himself to dislodge that thing. Will he get out of there? No, he goes down for his trouble, but he did keep the Dreadnought alive. I think I'll trade a Force Commander for a Dreadnought in that particular bad situation. At this point, I'd kind of expect to see the Dreadnought go into maybe an Assault Cannon, some sort of ranged option, because the melee option is just not quite where it needs to be. Oh my gosh, and now here is exactly what I was talking about. The Manticore strike comes down, the Space Marines are forced to be dislodged there, and now with the Lord General with both his Melta Gun and Flak Jacket upgrade, he's got more range DPS, he's reducing incoming range DPS. I don't think the Force Commander still knows that there's a webway down here. 41 to 264 though, the blue team's just barely holding on. They do have, I mean, I wouldn't say they have a superior force. It's actually pretty close, but the Lemon Russ is definitely tipping the scales in favor of Freeman, and Zev need to lose. 41 to 264 right now. Sneaky Scouts looking for a kill here in the center of the map. Or sorry, not a kill, but a cap on that central VP. Now the Eldar going tier 3 as well. Kind of surprising considering how little army they have and how much of a victory point deficit they have. I don't know if that's a bit myopic thinking right there going into trying to push that tier 3, not thinking about the long term when, you know, you just want those bigger units out right away. This could be the gap that allows the red team to finish them off. You can see, yeah, right now it's pretty much just the Imperial Guard trying to run the map. The only thing keeping the Eldar in this right now is the fact that they have that webway gate right down there. Let's see if that comes in here or not. I'd be willing to bet the whole Eldar army just pops out of this in a moment. And by the whole Eldar army, I guess I just mean a few squads. 33 to and falling right now for the blue team. Guardian Weapons team moving up into exactly where it doesn't want to be. Scouts are breaking that webway gate. They did finally spot it. Banshees on these Space Marine setup teams, even with the help of those librarians. It's just too frightening having everything come in. Look at that beautiful blast coming in from the Manticore, taking out a couple attacks, taking out a couple of submarines, almost eliminating the squad entirely. I think the librarian will be able to escape. Scouts actually spotting the improvised explosive before moving in on the victory point. They only need to hold 2 points for just a few moments more to finish off this match, but it's going strong here still. The Imperial Guard just blobbing around, this range blob of death right now. Thanks to the support of this Lord General, constantly healing his squad. Really great use of the Lord General here. I know it seems fairly simple to just be moving around and you know, on common sight, just attack moving with your nasty range pile here, but keeping those heals up, keeping your flak jacket charges ready for when you need them, like it does require a little bit more finesse, and you'd be surprised how often you forget to continuously hand out those med packs and keep everything on the up and up. We have another Manticore strike coming in. It looks like it's gonna nail it too. Oh no, he hit the retreat button like literally frames before the first rocket drop. That would have obliterated both of those setup teams. Now we have the Seer Council out here for the Farseer and a Baneblade coming out for the blue team. That tier 3 tech coming out in force. We can see the Tech Marine is also tier 3 and a second Dreadnought now coming out from Matouzka. I guess the Tech Marine's probably going for a tank at this stage. I mean, either way, the blue team is so perilously low on victory points with only 5 remaining. If the red team gets 2 points in their hold at all, that's simply it. There just won't be enough time for them to bring it back around. Scouts and the Catechins playing a game of cat and mouse here, seeing Catechins trying to get bombs down, Scouts disallowing it at every opportunity. Doggylover really knows that, like, he really needs to not give the Imperial Guard any edge. We can see a bunker coming down here as well. So I'd expect this to be a reinforcement bunker and not a repair bunker. I'm sure he just wants to stay on the field at this point as much as possible, and here comes the first decap. The Seer Council and the Banshees now out here. The Dreadnought definitely needs to be out here to support the Space Marines. The Librarian does have the Force Staff, so maybe we'll see some good usage of that to kind of control this melee. The Dreadnought's just standing in the back though. The Dreadnought needs to get up here. Merciless Strike goes down, does some good damage, but there's just too much Eldar out here. Oh no, the Librarian is doomed, and now there's a Seer Council on him. He can't hit that retreat button. The Seer Council pulled off. I can't believe it. They're all moving to engage the Force Commander now. I think that Librarian was as good as dead. And now here comes the Force while actually knocking everything back. Will it save the Force Commander? It looks like it does. Force Commander still getting hacked away by the Seer Council. Is the Emperor's Fist on cooldown? I don't know if he's used it yet or not. A quick teleport out of there saves the Force Commander's skin. Dreadnought claiming another Warlock life or 2 from that Seer Council squad. And now the Baneblade over here. I don't see this victory point changing hands anytime soon. Unfortunately, the army composition for the Tech Marine is just so easily answered by the Manticore.
So we're losing a victory point out there.
Oh man, it's coming down to it. Terminators are on the field for the Tech Marine. Taking a lot of fire though. Manticore strikes coming down. Oh, they're taking such huge damage. They got the decap, but they need to get out of there. If he loses these Terminators, he's practically throwing the game at this point. One Terminator goes down, but they're going to have to pull off the field and heal for quite some time. And it is so very expensive to reinforce those Terminators. And now it all comes down to this. If the Reds can capture either of these 2 points at any moment, that's going to be it. I think even these Tacks could have walked up here instead of trying to engage this Baneblade. Maybe just walk past it and try to get the decap over here. Instead, they get blasted point blank by a Demolisher Cannon. The final blast from that main cannon does miss. Fortunately for them and unfortunately for the blue team. Blue team gets the cap back 106-5, and man, if they bring this game back around, I will be very surprised. But I can't say it won't be hard earned at this stage. Tech Marine does have his orbs of the Omnisci coming out. That Baneblade is such a big, easy, and slow-moving target to hit. It hits hard, but it moves like a sloth, so it's easy to disable. But from there, I don't think there's really still not that much anti-vehicle on the field for the Tech Marine. And if that thing gets in trouble, the Manticore is still on the back line, ready to dislodge any las cannons or anything like that, though it's really going to take a concentrated force to try to put any hurt on this Baneblade. I think it might be better off for the red team to just double up on the central point and push over there. Maybe feign a push over here to keep the Baneblade in position, but even so, the Baneblade would take so long to get down here into the center. So here we go, Eldar facing off against the Dreadnought once again. I think the Dreadnought is just the perfect weapon to be using against this. Oh man, we even have a Whirlwind now on the field. Banshees screaming in against the Tactical Marines, but have to fall back almost immediately. Force Commander now with the Thunderhammer as well. And the Terminators are here on the central point while the Tech Marine, like, yeah, here we go, feigning the push. I guess not feigning too much because he just lost his tax. But it could all be exactly what they needed because the cap's coming down here for the Terminators. I don't see anything out here that can challenge this. There's no knockback, nothing like that on the field. We do, oh man, I spoke too soon. There is a Basilisk Barrage coming in. Oh, but he placed it incorrectly. He needed to put it on that victory point. Does the Basilisk Barrage not actually knock back Terminators anyways? Maybe that was it. But with the cap going down, GG is called. And the blue team is knocked out just barely in this game. Oh my goodness. They almost held on. You can see everything got pulled forward here. Even pulled the Manticore up. It's just a blob of Imperial Guard vehicles. They can't even cram through here. But, wow. The red team just throwing everything in. You can even see Doggylover down to just a couple Devastator squads and Terminators by the end there. Just throwing everything they can on that point, trying to capture it. That was pretty much their last push. They may have had one more. But, man, if Doggylover had maybe had some scouts or something, even if they hadn't gotten this capture, he could have maybe stealthed some scouts in after. I mean, you can see how panicked the blue team was trying to respond to this threat. The Terminators came out, and they were the last capping force here. There was no knockback, nothing available to get them off of that point. Did Zev? No, Zev was using a lot of reds, so there wasn't anything available. And Freeman, I think, was just short of a rocket barrage, so he had to use that creeping Basilisk barrage, which couldn't get the job done. But anyways, again, that match was from the monthly team tournament. I believe it was the 20th one, so apparently been going on for almost 2 years, thanks to the organizers. And I don't know if it's always been Impregnable, but it has been as of recently. So again, props to him for keeping that organized, keeping these community events going. Speaking of which, I'm going to be trying to doing my own little invitational one-on-one tournament. It's going to be 8 players, double elimination. I'm going to try to find the best players that are currently hanging around and active in the game and community and get them all facing off against one another. It'll be a live stream. Going to get some nice production value and maybe get a couple co-casters, see if we can bring Cyrus or Indrid or any of the usual cast and folks back around here and make a real fun time of it. I think it'll be pretty sweet. So keep an eye on the social media and the channel here for that sort of thing. That'll be coming up, I'm thinking, around the end of the month, the end of April here. But other than that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep an eye open for these tournaments and other events. Follow me on all those various social medias. Send me your replays if you're playing too. I always post the link up here. Get me those games. Right now, I just kind of take whatever people throw at me and kind of wing it from there. But I love when you guys send me stuff that you're excited about. And I'll try to get those tested. Anyways, this has been Red-Rupee. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.